this episode starts, I would like to remind all those people watching that this video is not made for kids. The team at FNAR Studios, dumb name by the way, is not responsible for your children watching or engaging with this series. Lastly, the creators of this video have no affiliation with the company that owns me or my friends. With all that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the fucking video.
Thomas is a tank engine who lives at a big station on the island of Sodor. He's a cheeky little engine with 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and a short stumpy dome. He's a fussy little engine too, always pulling coaches about ready for the big engines to take on long journeys. And when trains come in, he pulls the empty coaches away so that the big engines can go and rest. Thomas thinks no engine works as hard as he does. He loves playing tricks on them, including Gordon, the biggest and proudest engine of all. Thomas likes whistling rudely at him. "Wake up, lazy bones, why don't you work hard like me?" One day after pulling the big express, Gordon had arrived back at the sidings very tired. He was just going to sleep when Thomas came up in his cheeky way. "Wake up, lazy bones, do some hard work for a change. You can't catch me!" And off he ran, laughing. Instead of going to sleep again, Gordon thought how he could get back at Thomas. One morning, Thomas wouldn't wake up. His driver and fireman couldn't make him start. His fire went out and there was not enough steam. It was nearly time for the express. People were waiting, but the coaches weren't ready. At last, Thomas started. "Oh dear, he yawned. He fussed into the station where Gordon was waiting. "Hurry up, you," said Gordon. "Hurry yourself," replied Thomas. Gordon began making his plan. "Yes," said Gordon, "I will," and almost before the coaches had stopped moving, Gordon reversed quickly and was coupled to the train. "Get in quickly, please," he whistled. Thomas usually pushed behind the big trains to help them start, but he was always uncoupled first. This time, Gordon started so quickly they forgot to uncouple Thomas. Gordon's chance had come. Last they stopped at a station. Thomas was uncoupled, feeling very silly and exhausted. Next, he went onto a turntable, thinking of everyone laughing at him. And then he ran onto a siding out of the way. "Well, little Thomas," chuckled Gordon, Now you know what hard work means, don't you? Poor Thomas couldn't answer. He had no breath. He just puffed slowly away to rest, and had a long drink. He went home very slowly, and was careful afterwards never to be cheeky to Gordon again.
Gordon was complaining. This was making James cross. Why are you complaining all the time?
Because I'm a big blue engine. No.
Are you done speaking, or?
That you are, after all, a small, insignificant red engine.
Hang on a minute, what has my size got to do with any of this? You know, you're pretty bold saying that when you should be worried about the fact that you can't even fit on the fucking turntable. Shut up, bruv. I was expecting a good morning, but whatever, I'm not even in shorts or whatever I can.
I can't see any ideas.
What the fuck are you on about? Hey, no, we can talk.
Ideas above the station. The sky's empty.
Oh my good God, Percy, you are the most unbearably dipshit individual I have ever met. How can you be this fucking stupid?
Does the 6 on your side stands for 6 fucking brain cells? Or the fucking 3 landmines you have? Do you have 3? Do you have 6? I don't know how many brain cells you have. You're just stupid. Oh my God, you can't even beat this comic. This is genius levels of stupidity, little Percy. The sky's empty. It was a figure of speech. I wasn't even saying that today. I said that about a week ago. Oh my God, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go pull the express or whatever the fat controller wants me to do today. Right, we're gonna go do that, and yeah, fuck you, little Percy.
Percy, I swear to fucking God.
All the engines on the island of Sodor are very hard working. They have to work extra hard during the holiday season. Many passengers need to be taken to stations, and lots of cargo must be delivered. But no engine is busier than Percy the Green Engine. Percy pulls the mail train, and during the holiday season, lots of mail is delivered. Along the way, he sees a lot of his friends. He pulls all kinds of mail, like packages, letters, and presents. He goes under bridges and around many bends.
Here comes Thomas! I'm the #1 engine. Whoa! All engines go! Look, there's Percy. We're best friends. Ascona zooms around the bend. I lead by speed and I'm ready to glow. All engines go! Hey, there's Nia. I'm rocking out. Don't forget me, Thomas. And Diesel gets a shout. Hey! Meet our fix-it crew, Carly and Sandy. You can count on us. We're super handy. Down the hills and round the whoa! All engines go! Thomas. And Diesel gets a shout. Hey! Meet our fix-it crew, Carly and Sandy. You can count on us. We're super handy. Down the hills and round the whoa! All engines go!
Edward is one of the oldest engines on the island of Sodor. He loves helping others, being a really useful engine. However, the big engines on the railway disliked him and thought he was too old-fashioned. Edward is just some old iron that needs to be put in a museum.
Edward is a waste of steam.
All he does is clink about the olden days. Hearing insults about his first friend on the island upset Thomas, so he spoke up.
I'll have you know that Edward is the most useful engine of this railway,
said Thomas. Thank you, Thomas, replied Edward. As for you three, I'm disappointed. I'll definitely forward this to the Fat Controller tomorrow. You right.
You see, Edward, this is why we don't like you.
Exactly. Get out the big engine's businesses, exclaimed the big engines. Edward rolled his eyes and backed into his shed to take a long rest. The next day, the Fat Controller arrived. Henry, Gordon, James, I'm very disappointed, sorry. You'll have to stay in the shed for the rest of the day. No, sir! Please, sir! I regret my actions, said Henry sadly.
Who would take my express?
And who will take my important goods train? By the way, the Fat Controller tells James all his goods trains are important, so he does his work, because James hates unimportant goods trains. Percy will pull James's goods train, and I shall pull the express.
Edward!
Shouted the big engines. Really, sir? Thank you, sir.
But Edward isn't fast enough to pull the express,
exclaimed Gordon.
Gordon, I think sometimes you forget that Edward was an express engine at one point.
Wait, I'm an important goods train? Oh boy.
The big engines sadly backed into their berths.
Do you really think you can do it, Edward?
Well, it will be hard, but I think I can do it. And so, Edward puffed off to collect the express coaches. Once Edward got to the platform, the coaches and the passengers were surprised to see Edward at the platform,
What's Edward doing here?
said one of the passengers.
He's too small.
Don't be engine-cist, you guys.
Said an engine's rights activist. Well, there's no engine available. I figured that you folks need an engine to take you to your destinations. And so, the guy blew his whistle, Edward set off on the slowest express train in years. Hurry, 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 said Edward, acting like Gordon. Eventually, Edward had made it to Gordon's Hill. He was nervous because he knew going up Gordon's Hill, the express was going to be difficult. But Edward had experienced going up Gordon's Hill with heavy loads before. I can do it. Edward started chuffing up the hill. I can do it. I will do it. And at last, Edward had made it to the top of the hill. Beep, beep, whistled Edward. Edward rushed down the hill at speeds he hadn't puffed at in a long time. I've done it! Especially, Edward had made it to Clark Station. That night, Edward told everyone at Tim's Sheds his story. I may have doubted myself at times, but deep down, I knew I had what it takes to pull the express one final time. After hearing his story, Bacons felt bad and apologized to Edward. Edward, I'm sorry for the way I treated you last night. Us too, said the bigger engines. It's alright, 3. I know you guys are just feeling a big-headed. They all fell asleep in the shed, waiting for another glorious day of work.
The Tender Engine Challenge. Gordon and Henry are two of the biggest engines on Sodor, but ever since Henry's rebuild, Gordon has been trying to put down Henry to keep his title as the fastest and strongest engine on the line. One night, Gordon backed into the sheds as Edward and Thomas were talking about Edward's express run from a few months ago.
No one could pull the express as good as me, which is why Henry over there hasn't pulled it since July.
You've said that countless times, Gordon, yet James, Henry, and Edward do it just fine,
replied Thomas. He had gotten fed up with Gordon's constant boasting.
But not with my smooth running, my elegance, and not with my speed.
Then Henry spoke, now fed up.
Well, you might be good at the express, but I don't see you doing the real work behind the scenes, Gordon.
Because such work is beneath me, Henry. You wouldn't catch me doing your work.
Which, coming from you, you wouldn't know if real work hit you.
Well, Gordy, I think you're just not good at other jobs, so you hide behind the express.
False information. I can do all of Henry's jobs way better than you can ever do them.
Well, Gordon and Henry, put your money where your mouth is. Have a challenge of sorts.
What kind?
Well, if Henry can pull the express as well as you do, you can treat Henry as an equal. Then, if you will the good as well as Henry claims, well, Henry can admit you're right, Gordon.
What do you say, Henry?
Deal.
Now, be warned. If you fail this challenge, you have to pull the garbage train heading to Barrow and Furness.
Like I could have failed.
You're right. I'll pull the express better than you.
Then it is settled. I'll clear this up with the Fat Controller tomorrow morning. Now, it is best we go to sleep.
I agree, Edward.
Night, everyone.
Night.
Well, Gordon, you better get your stone trucks coming down from the quarry. They'll be heavy.
The express is overbooked. Today they got one more coach, Henry.
I'll be fine. Those troublesome trucks will be nice. I'm sure.
Well, this is gonna suck.
Gordon was worried about the troublesome trucks, but he didn't want Henry to know, so he stayed silent.
Have a good day, Henry.
You too, Thomas. Well, see you later.
These are for you, Gordon.
Hurry, hurry, hurry!
Henry shouted as he thundered down the line.
I could get this job done in half the time if I could just go faster.
Well, that's illegal, old boy. We don't want the law on me again,
said Carson, the engine driver. The regulated speed of goods trains was starting to get to Gordon.
Those trucks Henry was talking about. Should I be concerned?
Maybe.
Gordon sighed.
Steady now, old boy.
This is more tiring than I remember.
You can't stop just yet, Henry. We can't let Gordon grow a bigger ego.
Thomas, what are you even doing here? As far as I know, this isn't a place where you come often.
I have to drop off someone important.
Okay then. Well, that's my cue to leave. Bye, Thomas.
Just wait until he finds out who that important someone is.
Why was this so exhausting?
Because you weren't built for the speed the Express requires, especially one of this capacity,
said one of Henry's crew members. Luckily you got here early, so you can have a nice rest, said the driver, looking at the clock. Then an engine pulled in. It was Gordon, who was very tired from pulling the stone train. He had arrived 5 minutes late. He wheezed when he stopped, which caused Henry to wake up. Henry snickered at how late Gordon was, but then the station master walked up to speak with him.
Bad news, Henry. You need another coach, and we don't have any more regular express coaches. You're going to have to take one of the Mark IIIs. It's going to be a lot heavier than the rest of the coaches,
said the station master.
You have fun with those heavy coaches.
You have fun with those trucks, Gordon.
Yeah, sure.
It seems like you both have heavy loads. How ironic.
Big Claw is a tad much.
Gordon puffed away to get coupled up to his train.
Get in quickly, please. I want to get this over with.
The trucks were trying their hardest to stop Gordon from leaving the station, but he pushed through. As the two puffed down the line, Gordon started to regret the challenge. Then Henry stopped at his next station.
Finally a chance to rest my wheels.
Hurry, hurry, hurry!
What is he doing? That's the express's speed. The trucks will most surely cause him to crash at that speed.
Gordon was thundering down the line. His replacement driver was rather inexperienced and was letting Gordon go as fast as he wanted.
Hurry, hurry, hurry!
This time Henry meant it. He needed to catch up.
Shut it, Henry. I'll get this train in after before you.
Gordon yelled as he charged up the hill.
Again, the trucks! They'll push you down the hill, and you won't be able to stop!
Nonsense. Whoa!
Gordon, you idiot! You'll crash now unless you slow down!
No shit, Sherlock. Ah!
Gordon went down the hill, not being able to stop with his brakes squealing. Henry had a plan on how to stop Gordon. It was pretty risky, but he knew he had no other choice. Gordon screeched around the bend. Henry quickly raced ahead of Gordon using all of the strength he had.
Oh, I hope this works. Oof.
Henry slammed on his brakes, starting to slow Gordon down.
What are you doing? We'll both crash!
No, we won't!
Finally, the two engines came to a stop at Knapford.
Oh, I did it. Oh.
The passengers started to cheer as they left the coaches, one of them being the fat controller. Well done, Henry. Edward told me about your challenge with Gordon, and you definitely showed him wrong. Then the fat controller walked over to Gordon. Now, Gordon, you have some explaining to do.
I was going too fast to try to be Henry.
He was annoyed with what Gordon had done. That is no excuse to be going down the line irresponsibly. You're lucky you already have a punishment tonight. Edward told me about the garbage train. You better get ready for it. It's due at 9.
Oh, the indignity.
Good job, Henry. You were able to pull the express and stop Gordon.
Yeah, I did. Though I want to stick with Good's work after that.
Well, either way, I'm proud, Henry. Good work.
Thanks, Edward. Wait, who's the engine over there in the yard?
That's the loaned engine. He's from the Southern Railway, just like my siblings.
Huh. He does look unique, alright.
That night, Henry couldn't fall asleep. That new engine puzzled him, but that is another story for another day.
One night, Edward rolled onto the turntable, stopping right in the middle, letting off steam. As you may know, every Halloween I tell one of my stories, and this Halloween won't be any different. Edward paused impressively, as the engines anxiously waited for the story. It all happened long ago on a railway somewhere in England. There once was an engine with no name or number. He was called by his class name, 812. He was an odd engine, to say the least. He was lonely and secluded. The other engines would always tell jokes at his expense due to the lack of a proper tender, only having a black truck for coal and water. 812 worked in a lonely smelter's yard with no company, besides the clanking of machines and the hiss of molten slag. One day, an engine was taking a load of scrap to the smelter's yard. This engine was rude to the 812 on many occasions. Once the engine rolled into the yard, he scanned the area for the 812 to take away his trucks. Alas, he was nowhere in sight, so the engine rolled into the smelter shed. The heat was unbearable, and the red glow made everything much more eerie for the engine. The engine's driver would go to uncouple the trucks, as the engine himself would wait impatiently. The fireman was off talking to the operator of the claw, not having a good view of his engine. The engine then heard the hiss of another engine. "Hey, 812, you bastard! Come out, you lazy, tenderless fuck!" The engine shouted at the steam cloud in front of him. There was no answer. "I said come out!" The engine grew angrier, but still no response. Just then, a shrill whistle was heard as the 812 rocketed into the engine at full speed, smashing the other engine to pieces. Both the driver and engine were killed with the firemen, having no idea what was happening. The engine would quietly get a rail crane and put the parts in empty trucks, and the driver's body in the smelter's pit. For the next few weeks, engines would disappear, with the 812 getting more and more complete as time went on. One day, on Halloween night, a tender engine was on his way to drop off scrap. He had heard stories of engines disappearing in the forested area surrounding the smelter's yard, but managed to get there no problem, or so he thought. The engine would look for the 812 to take away his trucks, much like the engines before him. He rolled silently into the smelter shed to drop off his trucks. This engine was always kind to the 812, but the 812's plan now wasn't to get revenge. It was for a tender to complete himself, no matter who it was. The tender engine would quickly get uncoupled. He was about to leave the shed when he heard a hiss of steam. "Hello? 812? Are you there?" The engine looked around for the 812. He was about to leave when the shed doors closed. Then the 812 went rocketing at the tender engine full speed. Instead of letting it happen, the tender engine would whistle out for the operator. Quickly, the operator switched the points, making the 812 crash into the door, smashing his front into pieces. The controller had the remains of the 812 melted down, though people and engines alike report seeing a ghastly 812 all across England screeching down the line, taking old engines with him into the afterlife. They call him the Grim 812. Edward paused. "And so, you never know when he will strike, but he'll always be accompanied by an unbearable heat and the hissing of steam. So you best be careful tonight, or you may be the next to go." Edward finished, leaving all the other engines in shock and fear. "Well, good night," said Edward as he backed into his shed. The Grim 812? Percy replied shakily.
Hello, everybody. I'm Edward. I'm here to say that Thomas's Crazy with Adventures wouldn't be possible without viewers like you. Please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more Crazy with Adventures in the future. Thank you for watching our show, and enjoy the rest of this compilation.
It's Thomas. You're the leader. Yeah, come on. Okay, they're 2, they're 4, they're 6, they're 8. Shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue. They're the useful crew, that's who. All with different roles to play. Round tin sheds and far away. Now Neville's joined this friendly pack, but who's this coming down the track? Come on.
Thomas, he's my number one, shining in the morning sun. Only one in this season. Thomas, you're the leader. Thomas, you're the leader.
Yeah. Thomas has so many friends. The list is long, it never ends. James and Percy, good workers. And Neville, he's so insecure. Henry, Edward, fan favorites. Toby, he's the same color as shit. Gordon takes a little trip. They've all got a good friendship. That's right. Come on.
Thomas, he's my number one, shining in the morning sun. Only one leading this season. Thomas, you're the leader.
The number one.
Thomas, you're the leader.
It's Thomas.
Clarabelle and Annie, Molly, Rosie too, Henrietta, Billy, the really useful crew.
There isn't just a mainline team. The narrow gauge is also full of steam. Scarlo is her handle, Renee is too. Peter, Sam, and Rusty know what to do. Sir Topham Hatt, he keeps an eye on every engine passing by. Everything is tickety-boo, 'cause out in front is you-know-who. Yeah, what? Yeah, come on.
Thomas, he's my number one, shining in the morning sun. Only one leading this season.
Thomas.
You're the leader.
Thomas.
You're the leader. Thomas, he's my number one, shining
you're the number one.
Morning sun. Only one leading this season.
Season 1.
Thomas, you're the leader.
You're the leader.
Thomas, you're the leader.
It's Thomas. It's Thomas. It's Thomas. Thomas the leader. It's Thomas. It's Thomas.
One morning, all of the engines were having a discussion, when suddenly the Fat Controller arrived.
As you engines may know,
I have acquired a new engine on loan. Come here. This is Neville. He is an SRQ-1 from the Southern Railway. They have graciously loaned him to me to help out with the increased goods traffic on Sodor.
Can I help too, sir?
Sorry, Percy. These trains are a bit too heavy for you.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll just stay in the shed all day.
Don't worry, Percy. We'll find a suitable job for you one day.
So nice to meet you all. As your controller said, my name is Neville.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Neville. I'm glad to finally have a fellow Southerner here.
That new engine is quite particular.
Why is that?
How do I put this lightly? He's an ugly duckling.
Yeah, he looks like one of those darn Oilers from the mainland.
Well said, James.
Gordon, you can't just say that to his face. We don't even know him.
And why should I get Henry?
Gordon, you should know better by now. Treat us with respect, no matter how they look. You're not 5.
Edward, just look at him. He's an oddball, an outcast, and rather ugly. That is an image we don't want here.
Well, I'm very strong if you let me prove myself.
Beat it, Boxy, before we ship you out on the post train.
Oh, I guess I'll be going then.
Gordon, that was uncalled for, even for you.
Ha! Engines like him need to just fade into the background.
I need to have a talk with him later. You too, James.
Later that day, the bigger engines were talking about Neville in the yard.
You two need to lay off Neville. He's only just arrived.
I'm just saying this Neville character isn't a proper engine. He looks more diesel than steam.
Yeah, I don't like how he clanks about in the yard too. He's an eyesore.
I mean, fellas, I had a unique shape once, but I was still a good engine.
I could hardly call your old shape good. Being unique, Henry, doesn't mean you're cut out to be with the big dogs, like you and I.
Me too, right?
Sure, James.
Good. Just making sure.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, right. Neville just isn't cut out for this railway. Leave the work for the real engines.
Come on, Gordon. At least give Neville a chance.
I've made up my mind.
Little did the bigger engines know, Neville was listening in the whole time. His heart sank as he slowly reversed away. Henry saw this in the corner of his eye.
No, wait! Don't listen to Gordon. He gives everyone a hard time. He just has to get to know you.
No matter how hard I try, Henry, no railway gives me a chance. It will probably be the same here.
He can be like that. As you know, he used to give me a hard time too.
Why is that?
I used to have a unique shape too once upon a time. Gordon thought I was useless back then.
Why are you two friends then?
Henry thought hard. Why was he friends with Gordon? Though he was nice to him on occasions, he could hardly say that Gordon was the friendliest engine.
It's complicated.
Well, how did you make Gordon tolerate you then?
I guess I just worked hard, and he felt like we were more of equals than he thought.
Alright then, Henry, I'll try that.
Neville cheerfully puffed away to do as much work as he could, as hard as he could. Henry thought to himself,
Why are me and Gordon friends?
That's what I keep asking.
How long were you listening for, Edward?
Long enough. Henry, maybe it's time you reflect on your friendship with Gordon.
Well, I don't even know anymore. He can be nice, sure, but I'm conflicted, Edward.
I see. Listen, cutting out those from your life who are negatively affecting you will help make it better. But that is up to you. Good day, Henry. I hope you make the right decision.
Neville had been working all day ever since his conversation with Henry. He had to impress Gordon after all, though it wasn't going very far.
Do you see this, James? He's trying so hard to do what we do so easily.
That's too true, Gordy. I'll see myself out.
That night, Neville arrived at Tidmouth Sheds. All the berths were full, though he did see room in a smaller shed off to the side.
Hey, is this shed taken?
These sheds are for us important engines, not temporary lone ones like yourself.
I just wanted a place to stay.
Well, this is not the place.
Gordon! I'm sorry, Neville. Feel free to stay here.
It's fine, Edward. I'll stay somewhere else if I'm not wanted here.
Henry would get angrier and angrier with every passing word, until...
Gordon, words cannot describe how disappointed I'm in you, along with James. Neville has been non-stop helping us these past few days, and you two mistreat him left and right. How do you feel? Proud? Grand? No! You should feel ashamed!
If your goal is to make me feel ashamed, don't waste your time, Henry. Engines like Neville are a stain on this railway. A reminder that this railway isn't the best.
But we don't have to be the best, Gordon. All that matters is that we work hard.
I have made up my mind, Thomas. Don't waste your time.
The next morning, Henry rolled into Knapford Yards, seeing Neville in the siding. He had slept there all night.
I am so sorry, Neville. I thought Gordon would accept you, but I was wrong.
It's fine, Henry. I should have known no engine's ever gonna accept me. All because of my own damn shape.
Edward, Thomas, and I do. We're here for you, and we'll set going straight.
Thanks, Henry, for being there for me. I don't know anyone else who would ever help me out like this.
It's no problem at all, Neville. Now let me just go get the fucking controller, and I'll talk to him about it.
Oh, darn it! I pulled something!
Are you okay, Henry?
I'm fine, but someone's got to hold my heavy goods train. It's going 36 minutes.
I think I can do it.
Oh my! What happened to you, Henry?
I pulled something, Rosie. That was going to take my train.
Are you sure you're strong enough to pull it?
I believe so.
Okay then, I'm gonna go arrange it for you.
Neville gawked at the sight of the heavy train.
Looks like Neville can't pull the train. How disappointing.
You can do it, Neville!
Right. Here goes nothing.
The guard blew his whistle, and Neville slowly began moving the heavy train, leaving Gordon in shock.
What? How? How is he even strong enough? He's just an 060!
We're glad to have you on our railway. If you weren't here, Henry's train would have went unpulled.
Thank you guys. It means a lot.
Don't you have something to say to Neville? Right, Henry?
Yeah, Colin, you owe Neville an apology.
I'm sorry, Neville. I shouldn't have treated you like that.
I don't know if I can forgive you, Gordon. You were horrid to me. Absolutely horrid. And, well, I don't think you deserve my forgiveness.
Today's been a long day. After I get this train shunted, all I can think about is going back to a nice warm shed. Oh, that would be lovely.
You there! Toby's been in an accident just before the station. Head on over and help him out, quickly!
Yes, sir! Right away, sir! You're the boss, sir! Did you all hear what happened to Toby?
I haven't. What happened to Toby?
He's broken an axle and bent his cowcatcher. Now he'll be gone for a few days.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Poor engine. Botheration! That means I'll need another engine to help out on the branch.
Oh, Thomas, perhaps I could.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, everybody, and hello, Percy. As many of you may already know, Toby has been in a serious accident and will be out of commission for the next few days. Because of the lack of an engine to help with the Farquhar branch, I will be appointing James to take Toby's place for the next few days.
But sir, you can't expect a splendid mainline engine such as myself to work on a filthy branch line.
Well, James, engines on my railway do as they are told. You've been given a job to do. It doesn't matter if you don't like it.
Whatever you say, sir.
Just be ready by 6 a.m. You'll have to bring some empty trucks over to Farquhar for Timothy and Reggie. They'll need to load them with stone for the refurbishment of the many stations on Edward's branch.
Yeah, I'll be ready. Don't get your side rods in a twist.
The next morning, James arrived at Knapford to wait for his trucks.
It truly is disgraceful to have mainline engines working on the branch lines, isn't it, little James?
Yeah, disgusting. Enjoy your express run, Gordon.
Oh, I plan to. Enjoy your dirty branch line work.
Yeah, as much as I possibly can. Oi! What's going on back there?
Nothing, James. Just giving you your trucks is all.
Well, next time, maybe try... Never mind. Thank you, Rosie. Goodbye, Rosie.
As James strolled along the branch, he enjoyed its many sights. Soon, James arrived at a red signal.
Oh, bother that signal!
Oh, hello there. I don't think I've ever seen you around these parts. Who might you be?
Well, I'm James. I believe you're... Terrence?
That's right. How did you know that?
Thomas tells us stories about his branch from time to time. Though, we had to hear the snowplow story from Annie and Clarabelle.
Oh, that is one fun story. So, what are you doing here, James?
Oh, I'm taking over for Toby, as he's been in an accident. What work were you doing?
Oh, just plowing this here field so that Farmer McCull can do some more work, is all.
Huh, clearly. Well, best be on my way. Goodbye, Terrence.
Goodbye, James.
Took you long enough.
Oi, I could have left this train with Rosie at Knapford. Then this lot would never have arrived.
Buzz off, Red Devil. Wait here for Timothy to bring the loaded trucks.
Oh, I'll wait, but not because you told me to.
Wake up!
Oh! Timothy!
Your trucks are here. This one's headed for Sodor.
Yeah, I already know that. Oh, it was magnificent. The wind on my frames, the amazing sights. It was such a beautiful part of the island.
So I wasn't just talking out of my firebox when I said my branch was the best on the island.
Oh, quiet you.
What are you two so giddy about?
Nothing.
Right. How was your day on that branch line, James?
Oh, it was horrid. I hope the Fat Controller never assigns me to do dirty branch line work ever again.
He's a really useful engine, you know. All the other engines, they'll tell you so. He huffs and puffs and whistles, rushing to and fro. He's the really useful engine we adore. He's the one. He's the one. He's the really useful engine that we adore. He's the one. He's the number one. Thomas the Tank Engine. He's a really useful engine, you know. 'Cause the Fat Controller, he told him so. Now he's got a branch line to call his very own. He's the really useful engine we adore. He's the one. He's the one. He's the really useful engine that we adore. He's the one. He's the number one. Thomas the Tank Engine. Little blue train, he's always there whenever you need a hand. If you need help with a situation, who comes into mind? He's the one. He's the one. He's the really useful engine that we adore. He's the one. He's the number one. Thomas the Tank Engine.
Back in the olden days of the Knapford and Aylesbridge Railway, there was a sterling single. She pulled the express in luxury and comfort. She was a very famous and very well-liked engine. But times changed and the K&W bought newer, stronger engines. She would get one last express run before she would be retired. Her last run was on a cold, crisp October night, and she was speeding down the main line. Everything was going well until she came across the viaduct. It was under maintenance, and engines were told to go slow. But she didn't listen. She thought if she went fast enough, she could change the controller's mind. But as she went across the bridge, it collapsed! There was a mighty explosion as the engine hit the bottom. The engine was never found, and everyone on board was killed. And ever since then, on the date of the accident, the engine runs again as a warning to others, plunging into the gap, shrieking like a lost soul.
Percy, what are you talking about?
The ghost train. Edward told me about it last night. Oh, it makes my wheels wobble to think of it.
Pah! I've already heard this story hundreds of times from Edward, you silly engine. Besides, I'm not afraid of no ghost.
Later that day, Percy told Edward about what happened.
Thomas wasn't scared from your story. I don't think he even believes in it.
Hey Thomas, no mind. I should have known that story wouldn't work on him. It used to scare the ash right out of him though when he was younger.
You should have told me before. I could have used it against Thomas.
Why do you want to get revenge on Thomas?
He played a trick on me.
What was this trick?
Backing signals.
Backing signals?
The other day, Thomas told me about a new signal system that's a top hat bought from British Railways. He told me they were called backing signals. He told me that backing signals were a special type of signal that were yellow. So later, When I saw the yellow signal go down, I went backwards. That's why I need to get payback, Edward.
Tell you what, Percy. I'll talk to him next time I meet him. You just go on about your work now.
Okay, Edward.
Percy puffed away, still rather disappointed he couldn't get back at Thomas. Edward was true to his words, though. He did talk to Thomas, but it went through his firebox and out his funnel. Soon, the cheeky tank engine was back to teasing Percy.
Whoa, Percy! The signal is down! Stop and go back!
No! Oh! Who leaves a truck of flour on the line?
They must have broken away, but there's no time to dwell on it now. We're already late as is. James was held up at his signal because one of his flour trucks had broken away. Just then, Percy strolled up alongside.
Hey, James.
Hey, Huh?
What's wrong?
Sorry, you startled me. So, what happened to you?
Oh, James, I've had a horrible day. Thomas won't stop teasing me about the backing signal incident, and I've crashed into a truck of flour. James, are you okay?
I'm fine, Percy.
James quickly changed the subject in a panic.
Why didn't you try paying him back?
I've tried with a ghost story, but that didn't work.
Well, of course it didn't work. Thomas doesn't believe in ghosts. He'd have to see it to believe it.
James looked at Percy and got a nasty idea.
I have an idea to pay Thomas out.
How?
James whispered the plan to Percy.
That'll show him I'm not a silly little engine.
I'll go ahead first. You follow behind after a good 5 minutes, okay?
James pulled into the shed where Thomas was getting oiled for his next train.
Thomas! Percy's just got into an accident!
Oh, poor engine. Shit, now I'll be late.
They've cleared the line, but there's something worse.
Out with it, James. I don't have all night.
It's a ghost train. It said it was coming to warn us.
Don't be frightened, James. I'll protect you.
No, not by the smoke on my chimney chin.
Then I'll chuff, and I'll puff, and I'll break your door in.
Oh dear, it's getting late. Oh, I had no idea. I must find Annie and Clarabelle.
It was morning when Thomas finally returned.
Where have you been?
Ah, well, I figured you'd be sad about Percy, and I didn't want to intrude. I slept in the goods shed and... Oh, sorry, can't stop. Got to see a coach, about to train.
Well, what do you think about that?
Anyone would think that Thomas had just seen a ghost.